Greetings and salutations, internet friends, and welcome back to another episode of the First Time Film Club. My name is Emily, your titular first timer. This is Matthew, my husband, Cinema Sherpa, and viewer submitted title, Facilitator of Fascinating Flicks.
I like it.
That one was submitted by Kontami. You guys can drop in the comments suggestions for Matthew's title. We're running low, so yeah, definitely drop some in that you think would be interesting. And of course, the most important person on the couch, Pippin. Pippin. He's our cat. He likes to nap. Sometimes he naps up here, sometimes he naps on the floor, so if he disappears, that's where he went. For those of you joining us for the first time, hello, welcome. What we're doing here is watching our way through a very long list of movies that typically I've never seen, but that Matthew has, i.e. Cinema Sherpa. I do know today's movie is one of our Just Some Superfan Patreon picks. So Matthew, what is the film we're watching today?
Real quick, since this is a Superfan Patreon pick, I can't take full credit for it as being the facilitator of Fascinating Flicks, so I don't get credit for this one. But the movie we're watching today is the 1997 science fiction movie Contact. And as per usual, I give you the year, genre, and title. You go in with whatever you already know, then we watch the movie and review it. So what do you know about Contact?
I'm pretty sure that this has Clarice in it.
Sure.
What's her name?
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster, yeah. And it's sci-fi.
Okay. So one of those two things you know is what I just said.
Listen, I'm pretty sure that there's like Alien because, you know, Contact. It's sci-fi. That's why I wore my Spock shirt. But that's it. Jodie Foster. Aliens.
All right then. With that being said, the only other thing is some of you first-time viewers may see me with my phone in my hand at some point during the movie. That's because I'm taking notes on things to talk about afterwards. And with all of that out of the way, I'm ready to watch Contact.
Is it supposed to be quiet? Jesus Christ! You dick! Oh God. Was not prepared. Jesus! That hurt my spleen. I jumped so hard. It's so pretty. What is that? The Horsehead Nebula?
Pillars of Creation.
What?
Don't worry about it.
CQ, this is W9GFO.
Oh, that's cool.
Is anybody out there? I'm not getting anything.
Small moves, Ellie. Small moves.
Where are you, K4WLD? Come back.
Pensacola, over.
How's the weather down there in Florida?
What a smart little lady.
I have to tell you, Sparks, that's farthest yet.
Oh, he called her Sparks.
Mm-hmm.
That's so precious.
Dad, could we talk to Mom?
I don't think even the biggest radio could reach that far.
Oh.
Pensacola.
Oh. It's really good.
Do you think there's people on other planets?
I don't know, Sparks. If it is just us, it seems like an awful waste of space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there she is. I was correct. Well, damn.
She got a bigger antenna.
Certainly seems that way. This is a real place, though.
Yep.
Was James Bond or GoldenEye shot here?
I'm not sure, but it was something very similar. I'm not sure if it's the same location.
I think it's great that you listen.
Ellie.
Kent Clark. Working under Drumlin. How'd you like him? That much, eh?
Arecibo, right?
Oh.
Is it show?
All right.
I work on a project called SETI.
Search for extraterrestrial intelligence?
Compass.
You better keep this. Might save your life someday.
Mm.
Will you have dinner with me tonight?
Yes. Oh, you're talking to her. Oh, okay.
Dr. Drummond, how
Oh, wow. I want that shirt.
David.
Which one?
Yes.
Yep.
Ellie, still waiting for E.T. to call? Well,
You're saying you want to do away with all pure research now?
what's wrong with science being practical, even profitable?
Nothing, as long as your motive is the search for truth.
Oh.
Which is exactly what the pursuit of science is.
It's an interesting position coming from a man on a crusade against the evils of technology. Father Joss?
I'm against the men who deify it at the expense of human truth.
Wait, did he say father? Oh.
Uh-huh.
You're a priest?
No, not really. Couldn't live with the whole celibacy thing.
All right.
You could call me a man of the cloth without the cloth.
If just one out of a million of those had intelligent life, there would be millions of civilizations out there.
Well, if there wasn't, it'd be an awful waste of space.
Amen.
Oh. Damn. Okay.
All I know is that I wasn't alone. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't scared of nothing. It was God. Your dad, is it this guy?
He died when I was 9 years old.
How can I reach you?
Just leave your number. I'll call you.
Oh. Ellie, how you leave that? Girl.
Dad! I'll get the medicine.
Can you make a note? Mirror shot.
Yeah, probably my favorite shot of the whole movie.
I got questions.
CQ.
Oh.
This is W9GFO. Do you copy? Dad, this is Ellie. Come back.
Oh, just right in my guts. Okay.
Drumlin pulled the plug.
Wow. Shocking.
We're homeless.
Oh, Lord, baby. Now, if you wreck, you ain't gonna be able to yell at nobody.
That's
Far
great.
too promising a
Great.
scientist to be wasting your gifts on this nonsense.
Look, I don't consider what could potentially be the most important discovery of the human race nonsense, okay?
Your career will be over before it's begun.
So what?
Just based on the numbers alone. Like, you really think nothing's out there?
Hey, Kent, you were right. Screw Drumlin. All right, we're gonna raise the money ourselves. We're going to New Mexico. Hey, try begging for some of that Hollywood money. Why not? They've been making money off of aliens for years.
So adorably meta.
Tom Skerritt, the man that pulled the plug on it,
Oh, yeah.
was in Alien.
So the moment of the acquisition of technology, where contact becomes possible.
Seems less like science and more like science fiction.
What about breaking the sound barrier or rockets to the moon? Science fiction, right? The truth is, you're my last chance.
Yes, sir. You have your money.
Yay! I assumed that was the guy on the video when she was walking in. I guess is the head of this company.
I don't know, I guess we'll see.
I guess we'll see. Is this actually called the Very Big Array?
Very large array.
Very large array.
The VLA.
Okay, I love it.
It's not just Drumlin. There's been enormous pressure from other scientists as well. These are government-owned telescopes. They can lease them to whomever they want, and they don't want the high priestess of the desert using them anymore.
What?
We're a joke to them. They want us out. We've got 3 months until the paperwork goes through.
That's still in Mexico?
New Mexico.
New Mexico, excuse me. So is the array actually there?
Mm-hmm.
He's become a spiritual counselor of sorts and a recent fixture at the White House.
Huh.
We're becoming a synthesized society and greatly hurry
Confirm!
Boss has a bogey.
Talk to me, guys.
Partially polarized set of moving pulses, amplitude modulated.
What's the frequency?
4.4623 gigahertz.
Got it. Reading over 100 jet skis.
Jesus. Pick it up on my...
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wiggle it. Turn it off and back on again.
Not sure that's exactly how it works.
I don't know.
Okay, so spacecraft? No, this system is full of debris. It would get clobbered.
Well, not if they use their laser blasters.
I mean...
Whatever the signal is, we better do something soon. Vega's gonna set.
That position is confirmed. We've got 4.46 123 gigahertz.
Let's see, if he's in Australia, then that means he can monitor it once they start tilting away from it, right?
Sounds
science? Right. Did I science?
Who are we gonna call now?
Ghostbusters! I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, I can't really blame you.
Send from this government facility.
I want all these people out of here.
Where's the girls?
Wait a minute. Is that James Woods? Oh my god, this movie has everything!
Because of the Earth's rotation, we're only in line with Vegas so many hours a day. The only way to completely monitor the signal is to get the cooperation of other stations.
I'm smart!
There's a lot more here, folks.
Another signal. Another signal.
Yeah,
Look at that.
second signal to double the frequency.
I love it when nerds are excited!
It's always nice to see somebody passionate about what they do.
Oh. Can you clean it up any more than that? Rotate 90 degrees counterclock.
My God.
Oh, shit.
Get me the White House.
Actually, the Hitler
The
broadcast
broadcast
were the
from the
first.
36th Olympics was the first television transmission of any power that went into space.
Oh.
That they recorded it.
We've just been told that the president will have only a few brief remarks about today's extraordinary announcement and that he won't be taking any questions from the press.
Oh.
Good afternoon.
I got questions. Zemeckis did Forrest Gump, didn't he?
Yep.
Okay. Are you proud of me?
Very.
To better explain to you the events of the last 48 hours,
oh boy.
I'm turning you over to the leader of the scientific team that made this remarkable discovery.
Oh, it's gonna be
Dr. David Drummond.
Yep. Yep. They ain't gonna let you talk, baby. They are not gonna let you talk.
We found a series of markers on the top of each frame. Are you ready? It's digital. Massive amounts of data.
Now, no two are alike, and we've uncovered over 10,000 already.
Jesus.
If there's a more clear-cut case of eminent domain, I've never seen it. I'm going to recommend to the president that we militarize this project immediately.
This is my project.
David,
Ellie,
tell them how many years that I've been working.
Excuse me, could we calm down here?
No.
Richard Rank, head of the
Oh,
Conservative
Lord.
Coalition.
This is yet another example of science intruding into matters of faith.
It's the same people who again and again have brought us to the brink of destruction, who polluted our air, who poisoned our water.
Is that a Busey?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Be quiet, young Busey. You're trying to look like Fabio. Stop it.
What? Somebody broke in.
Jesus.
What now? Where?
Well, now that's terrifying. I don't care for it. Oh. Oh, it's just money. Look at all them tumbleweeds.
Dr. Arroway, I've had my eye on you a long time, Doctor. I consider you one of my most valuable long-term investments.
Huh.
I have guests so rarely, it's important to me that they feel welcome in my home.
You live here?
I find it convenient to keep my interests mobile.
Oh, you cooking meth?
I've had a long time to make enemies, Doctor. There are many governments, business interests, even religious leaders that would like to see me depart this earth. I'll grant them their wish soon enough. But before I do, I wish to make a small contribution.
You found the primer.
Clever girl.
Registration mark, but they don't line up.
An alien intelligence is going to be more advanced, functioning on multiple levels and in multiple dimensions.
Bitch.
Yes.
Womp!
We now have the symbols for true and false.
This was the key, to put it simply.
Shut up, dick!
It is our belief that the message contains instructions for building something, some kind of machine.
That does what, Doctor?
Right now, my job is to protect American lives from any plausible threat.
Oh, there he is.
We know nothing of these creatures' values. The fact of the matter is, we don't even know whether they believe in God.
This doesn't make sense.
Excuse me, Dr. Arroway.
If it had been religious in nature, it should have taken on the form of a burning bush or a big booming voice from the sky.
But a voice from the sky is exactly what you found, Dr. Arroway.
Oh, shut up your pretty face.
My hope here is that we can find a common ground, break through any obstacles that may have kept us apart. Your discovery, all of this, it must be a real vindication.
Well, it would be if people weren't taking it.
Ellie, see you at the reception tonight?
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't miss it. I have a big problem. Do you know where I can find, like, a really great dress?
Oh, yes, girl. Oh, yes, girl. Okay, damn. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Just a little creepy.
No, I don't like it.
I got one for you.
What do you got?
Occam's razor. You've ever heard of it? All things being equal, the simplest explanation tends to be the right one. So what's more likely?
Oh.
God created the universe and then decided not to give any proof of his existence, or that he simply doesn't exist at all. For me, I'd need proof.
Did you love your father?
Yes, very much.
Prove it.
You were right all along.
This key section shows an illustration of what is unmistakably a human figure inside a geometric structure of some kind.
They're gonna build it.
Who gets to go?
It's complicated, Ellie. You're at the top of a very short list, but they're also putting together a formal selection committee.
You're on it.
I've been asked, yes.
I want you to know whatever happens, as far as I'm concerned, well, good luck.
Cryptic.
He's not on the committee, Ellie. He just resigned as science advisor. He wants to be the one to go.
Oh, no, you dick. I will stab you with a soldering iron.
Japan made headlines last month when it announced it would forego candidate representation in exchange for the lucrative systems integration subcontract.
Oh.
Despite your obvious enthusiasm, there's been a lot of criticism of late. One Nobel Prize winner recently noted, there is every indication that this endeavor will fail and that the machine's occupant will pay for that failure with their life.
The message is from a civilization that may be millions of years ahead of us. I have to believe that an intelligence that advanced knows what they're doing. Now, all it requires on our part is...
Faith?
I was going to say a sense of adventure.
And the ability to read instructions clearly.
Yeah. Long as I can remember, I've been searching for some reason why we're here. What are we doing here? Who are we? If this is a chance to find out even just a little part of that answer, I don't know. I think it's worth a human life.
It's a really bad idea on her part. Because the closer you get to him, the harder it is for him to select you to go.
Dr. Arroway, do you believe in God?
I don't understand the relevance of the question.
95% of the world's population believes in a supreme being. I believe that makes the question more than relevant.
I believe I've already answered that question.
All that God has blessed us with.
Oh, Lord.
Betrayed. Because we chose to send a representative who did not put our most cherished beliefs first.
What does that have to do with anything? The aliens don't give a shit about God. Like, that, I mean...
We don't know yet.
Our job was to select someone to speak for everybody. I just couldn't in good conscience vote for a person who doesn't believe in God.
Damn.
I accept this great honor.
Oh, boy.
And I promise I will do my best to represent my nation.
Blow up, machine. Come on. I'm just so frustrated. That's amazing. But I'm so frustrated.
I wish the world was a place where fair was the bottom line. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world.
I've always believed that the world is what we make of it.
Mm-hmm.
Test initiation on my mark.
What's your reading on the first and second order G levels?
G levels are right on.
TD.
Ah! Ah! Busey!
We got a security problem here. This guy, he shouldn't be there. I know him.
What is that?
David, he's got something in his hand.
He's got a bomb.
He's got a bomb. I want that. Fire com, move all.
Personnel, evacuate immediately.
Shit.
Well, you said you wanted to blow up.
No, I wanted him. Specifically only him. Not the whole project.
What we do for the goodness of all mankind. This won't be understood. Not now. The apocalypse to come will vindicate our faith.
Just how the hell did he get on that thing?
Because the movie needed to happen.
Because the movie needed to happen. You're correct. I forgot about that part. I'm so invested with this, I forgot it was a movie.
Means it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Wow, Mr. Head, you're living on a space station?
The low oxygen, zero gravity environment is the only thing keeping the cancer from eating me alive.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I want to show you something.
Bitch! Bitch!
First rule in government spending. Why build one when you can have two at twice the price?
Redundancy.
They still want an American to go, Doctor.
Okay. Well, that's convenient. Not super sure how I feel about that, but...
We have your personal recording unit, good for thousands of hours of recording.
Okay, the transmitted specs never said anything about any chair, survival gear. But why can't we just trust the original...
Doctor team carefully reviewed the matter and concluded the design impact is negligible.
Yeah, well...
I'm giving these to the astronauts since the beginning of the space program. It's fast and it's painless.
I'm gonna travel 26 light years to commit suicide.
There are 1,000 reasons we can think of for you to have this with you, but mostly it's for the reasons we can't think of.
I get that more than I get the...
Time to get ready.
Thank you.
Oh, hell. Piss off!
Oh. You mad at McConaughey?
I'm mad at you, McConaughey.
How could you be?
I had to see you one more time.
I'm glad you came.
The reason I didn't vote for you to go, Ellie, was a good reason, but it wasn't the real one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't vote for you to go because I don't want to lose you. You find your way home, all right?
Well, I guess it worked out in everybody's favor since Busey blew everybody up. Going back to what I was saying, the suicide pill, I understand more than all the other stuff that they were given. What if it throws off like the rotation of everything, you know? They didn't ask for that, so any additional things could be like detrimental to the...
Could be, but they've found it to be negligible.
Oh, well, you know, thank God. I
get it. You also, like, what's the point of building this and sending someone if it could possibly kill them? Like, to be nothing to record, no one to meet. Like, I understand.
I get it, but I think it's mighty
presumptuous.
Presumptuous and just the hubris, you know? This alien.
We are humans after all.
I mean, fair enough.
That would be so incredibly exciting and terrifying at the same time.
Yes.
Ellie, we are go for closure.
I'm go. I'm picking up a moderate vibration here.
Ellie, the vibration is normal.
Based on the one other time that we've experienced it, that's normal.
Something's happening. There's a light. Do you see that?
Ellie, do you copy?
You can hear? I am okay to go.
Give him a thumbs up.
90%. We're detecting some structural instability.
I'm okay to go.
Steve, we're approaching our abort limits.
Drop her.
I hear her.
Okay to go.
She says she's okay to go.
Initiate drop sequence.
I'm okay to go. I'm gonna try and keep recording.
Oh, this is amazing! What? Oh God, I'm so tired.
Some kind of a transit system! The subway!
Oh no! Oh no! Is that a good idea? You're gonna fall out!
I thought you said the harness.
Oi, oi, oi.
Some celestial event. They should have sent a poet. So beautiful.
It's her picture. I love that. Like, I don't know if this is like CG or just amazing makeup, but she has like this really ethereal kind of look.
Probably a bit of both.
Hi, Sparks.
Is this like heaven?
You're not real. You downloaded my memory.
We thought this might make things easier for you. You're an interesting species. You're capable of such beautiful dreams and such horrible nightmares. You feel so lost, so alone. Only you're not. In all our searching, the only thing we've found that makes the emptiness bearable is each other.
I have so many questions. Do we get to come back?
This was just the first step.
But other people need to see what I've seen. They need to see.
This is the way it's been done for billions of years. Small moves, Ellie. Small moves.
What happened? How long was I gone?
You didn't go anywhere.
Well, that's what you think.
But the headset didn't record a single image.
Static. The president has ordered a special executive inquiry.
What I experienced is approximately 18 hours passed instantaneously on Earth.
Why do you think these aliens bring you tens of thousands of light years and then just send you home without a single shred of proof?
How interesting. How the tables have turned.
Mm-hmm.
Fake. A signal from Vega. S.R. Haddon.
You're implying this was all some kind of a hoax?
Maybe he wanted to explore and exploit experimental technologies and get the governments of the world to pick up the tab.
That is a bold fucking statement.
Are you familiar with the scientific precept, Occam's razor?
Oh, f*** off.
What is more likely here? That a message from aliens results in a magical machine that whisks you away to the center of the galaxy, or your experience is the result of being the unwitting star in the biggest, the most elaborate, the most expensive hoax of all time.
I gotta say, aliens. I mean, that other thing seems crazy.
You admit that if you were in our position, you would respond with exactly the same degree of incredulity and skepticism.
Yes.
Then why don't you simply withdraw your testimony and concede that this journey never took place?
I believe it did.
I had an experience. Everything that I am tells me that it was real. A vision that tells us that we belong to something that is greater than ourselves. None of us are alone.
Can kind of understand his point of view now.
Joss, what do you believe?
What do you believe?
As a person of faith, I'm bound by a different covenant than Dr. Airway. But our goal is one and the same, the pursuit of truth. I, for one, believe her.
I assume you read the confidential findings report from the investigating committee. I was especially interested in the section on Airway's video unit, the one that recorded the static.
The amount of time? 18 hours of static?
What interests me is that it recorded approximately 18 hours of it.
Excuse me, sorry.
Are there other people out there in the universe?
That's a good question. What do you think?
I don't know.
It's a good answer.
It's a great answer.
The universe is a pretty big place. So if it's just us, it seems like an awful waste of space.
Nah. Oof, my goof. Aliens.
So yeah, that was Contact. Overall thoughts?
I'm gonna say this is one of my probably at least top 5 favorite alien specific sci-fi movies, you know, like contacting aliens.
Okay.
I want to say it's in the top 3 with Arrival and Interstellar, because all 3 of those have very similar kind of connections. I mean, okay, so all right, spoilers. Technically Interstellar's not an alien, but you know what I'm saying, like wormhole travel.
They were getting messages and it ended up, again, spoilers, it ended up, the messages were coming from Murph's dad, McConaughey.
But you get what I'm saying. This movie, oh man, first off, amazing cast.
Yeah,
fantastic cast. Robert Zemeckis.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're doing, sir.
Yeah,
you got it figured out.
You've seen quite a few of his movies, all the Back to the Future movies, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. We did Forrest Gump on the channel.
First off, I honestly can't imagine anybody else other than Jodie Foster in this role. I thought she was fantastic. I thought she sold everything. It hit me in so many ways that I wasn't like prepared for. Like the sort of the existential crisis of like feeling alone in a universe of billions on trillions on, you know. And
well, feeling alone just on a planet filled with billions of people.
Exactly.
In a universe with untold, who knows, maybe amounts.
Yeah. I didn't think, as it started, I did not think that I would appreciate the science versus religion kind of, you know, headbutting sort of thing. But there at the end, everything was like...
It kind of came back around and tied together.
Yeah, we did a full circle.
I really like how it flip-flopped the situation between like her and Palmer.
Yeah.
Basically to where he was talking about an experience he had, and it was just on faith. And she was like, no, I need proof. I'm a scientist. Then at the end, it flipped the script, and she was put in that same position. And
I thought that it did a good job of kind of doing that gradually. I got real upset about the aliens didn't tell you to put food stuff or emergency kit or a chair. They didn't tell you to put any of that in there. They gave you these amazing designs, and you went against them because we as humans think we know better. But she was like, we decided that this is for the best. We're going to put it in there. And in my mind, I was like, you know, this is kind of how it's turning. Like, we fit trillions of dollars to build this machine, but yet we don't have proof that it's going to be safe for the human inside. So we're going to take these contingencies. We're going to do this. Whereas it seemed like, you know, Ellie was like, no, you just have to have faith in the design. Like,
yeah.
So I thought that it was kind of, it wasn't just an immediate 360. Or 180.
It was incrementally building her up to like slowly, like, she started using like on faith arguments for things. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Because at first,
which I know you were kind of against the whole doing any of that.
I did it. Okay, all right. I was really upset about the whole. But what about God? I was like, how could that come? What does that bear? What bearing does that have on sending a person to interact with extraterrestrial beings? And then to have it all flip around and be like, well, you didn't have any proof. Like, it's so good. It was done so well. All of that aside, you know, oh man, this sound design.
Oh yeah. I really love how there's these super like wide shot from orbit of like Earth and space and everything, while there's the sound of the message going on, and it's like every now and then it's also like playing either over or under, or it starts off under someone's conversation and it goes to the kid. Like, I just love the constant reminder that it's there.
Yeah. Some of the visual things that occurred, obviously in the, you know, the last third of the movie, or the last act of the movie with the whole wormhole travel, that was just bananas. When did this movie come out?
97.
97. That is so impressive. Like, none of those looked cheesy. Like, I felt immersed in this whole thing. Like,
there's probably a reason why, and that's because there were like 8 different VFX houses working on this, and one of those was ILM. So
okay, just visually, this blew me away. I loved how everything kind of came full circle. Nothing that was set up didn't pay off. You know, like all of the things paid off. All of the little phrases and everything came back. That one shot, we're going to talk about this in a second, with the mirror, I got questions. I mean, I was probably something simple or like a CG kind of situation, because Lord knows there was plenty of CG. We had Bill Clinton in here doing some...
Which wasn't completely CG or anything like you're thinking how they did with Forrest Gump.
I figured it was pieces of different speeches and different things kind of spliced together.
Just 2 that I know of.
Oh, okay. So all of that aside, this is romance that I appreciate.
Oh, okay. Any particular reason why?
So first off, they set them up very early on as like a potential item. Like, it went straight into that. Like, we got history, okay? And not just history, but like romantic history. So it didn't feel like it was just tacked on there at the end. Like I feel like some of the movies that we've seen, it's just like
shoehorned in there.
Yeah, he's like, here, romance.
It's one of those executives being like, we need some kind of romantic subplot.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
And not only that, but it kind of worked in reverse. I mean, you got the big bang out right there in front. Like they had sex is right away. It's very physical. And then throughout the movie, as they have these interactions, they build up more of like their appreciation for each other, their understanding of each other. And it becomes more than just like a passing sort of infatuation, sort of like a crush kind of thing. It's like more. So I appreciated that. I thought it was done really well. And I loved that they were sort of the opposite of each other, but also the same in so many ways. I thought it was so well done. I really appreciated it.
Yeah, which I think is kind of like the overall overarching theme that science and faith, religion, whatever you want to call it, or however you want to describe it, aren't, mutually exclusive.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not obviously not going to rate it yet, but I love this movie.
Okay.
What do you have? Notes, thoughts, speculations?
Probably first thing at the end there, before the actual credits roll, you saw the end card that said "For Carl." That's because this is based on the novel that was written by Carl Sagan.
Oh, okay.
Carl Sagan and his wife in 1979 began working on it and wrote it as a film treatment.
Okay.
And it went to Warner Brothers, but somewhere along the way the production stalled, like the development stalled. So that's when Carl Sagan published it as a novel.
Okay.
This film had a couple of production issues and getting off the rail because also Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh boy.
He sued because he claimed that originally he and Carl came up with this idea for Coppola's production company, American Zoetrope, and it was going to be a TV series. And basically he claimed that, they co-created it.
And then he was moving forward with other...
And he had some rights to it, but all that to say, every time he took it to court, they dismissed it, basically saying that you waited too long to file this.
Yeah,
it had some production woes.
Okay.
going on.
Heard.
And they also stopped production for brief moments during the middle because while this was in production, Carl Sagan passed away.
Oh, damn.
I haven't actually read the novel, so I don't know how faithful of an adaptation it is, but I'm assuming that from what I read, he was on set a lot and was there for on the fly rewrites and things like that. So he was basically heavily involved. So I'm assuming it's pretty decent adaptation. I also read that before filming and stuff, he had a small course that he gave on the history of astronomy to the whole cast.
Okay, so, very nice. I like that.
Yeah, he was going to have a cameo in the movie as one of the selection board members when they were picking out, but he passed before that. I still think he has a spiritual cameo in the movie because when Ellie is presenting for funding for their project, and she gets very passionate and everything, she is wearing the turtleneck colors and jacket that is very reminiscent of Carl Sagan's attire.
Oh, so, I love that.
Yeah, and also I think this film, pretty sure this film made a pretty big impression on Jodie Foster, at least in some respect, because the SETI array was in risk of being defunded. And it was going to be defunded until a group of private donors donated to save it, and she was one of those private donors. I'm not sure how much she donated, but she was one of the ones that saved the program.
Okay. Oh, that's how apropos.
Yeah, although she did have some issues on this movie because this movie had a couple of firsts for her. There was a lot of CGI visual effects and things. That was a first for her working on a blue screen, and that was really tough.
God, I can't imagine trying to interact with nothing and portray a specific emotion or multiple emotions, especially during this time when people weren't throwing CG at everything, right? Still relatively...
it's relatively new, but once the Abyss had pretty cool CG with the water tendril. This may be personal bias because I have such a huge memory of this movie in theaters and everything and left such a huge impression. But I really think it was Jurassic Park that kicked off like,
yeah,
okay, we can do things now.
Yeah,
like we can really make something.
I don't think that that's incorrect at all. Like the things that came out of Jurassic Park like changed the industry of cinema in a lot of aspects. Same thing with like Star Wars.
Yeah,
you know, there are milestones in the history of cinema that you can pinpoint, and I think Jurassic Park was one of those.
Anyway, another thing she had trouble with, I don't know necessarily trouble with, but it was the first time in her career that she said she had to ask for cue cards to help with a lot of the
jargon,
technical jargon.
Dude, when they were running around, like after they first heard the transmission, and they're running around the little office and like gigahertz and giggles and whatnot. And I was like,
Jiggigagles.
Okay. I was like, what?
Give me 10 jellicles.
Yeah, 10 jellicles. I was like, I have no idea what is happening.
You know what a jellicle is, right?
Yeah. It's like, don't you quote cats at me. But yeah, no, I absolutely understand because there is a lot of nerd speak going on there.
Yeah. Okay, so the mirror shot.
Okay. There was basically witchcraft that occurred. That's what I'm understanding.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what you could say. I mean, it's movie magic.
Yeah.
It's basically a little VFX. It's in compositing.
Okay.
So it's 3 separate shots composited into one. So there's the initial tracking shot where she's running towards the camera and the camera's just tracking with her. And then there's a shot that's over the shoulder for where she's reaching for. So the mirror wasn't there. That was a blue screen.
Okay.
So they combined the 2 plates, 2 shots of her running forward, and then played the shot of her reaching.
And then they had the other shot of the reflection that
the third shot was a reflection of like when it closed and had her and her father in that picture. There are plenty of videos on YouTube breaking down how it was done. One of my favorite channels, Corridor Crew. They have a series, VFX Artists React. It's episode number 4 in that series. If anybody's interested, I know. I mean, I was just watching all of their stuff. It's great. They have a bunch of different React series, and they just have a bunch of great, like, original content. And I do not know these people in any way, shape, or form, so this is not an ad for them. They didn't put me up through this.
Yeah,
I just love that
just
channel.
A good channel.
Yeah, they're great. Oh, speaking of VFX and things, I said that there were multiple different VFX houses working on one of them, which was ILM. Do you care to take a guess at any of the other companies that were...
Had Pixar branched off from ILM yet? Were they one of the houses?
Some of their software was.
Okay. Sort of a win.
They had a software for CGI rendering called RenderMan.
Okay. What is that? The ones that mostly do the Death, Love, and Robots. Is it Blur?
Oh, yeah, no. I'm not sure if they were around
founded yet. I don't know. Who else?
Weta Digital.
Weta, of course. Shocking. I'm shooketh.
It's because it was kind of like a repaying Robert Zemeckis, because Robert Zemeckis was the executive producer on The Frighteners, which was Peter Jackson. But then Peter Jackson was like, we'll do some VFX work for
you. Got you
yeah.
back. I mean, you know what? Scratch my back. Let me scratch yours. Here you go. Got you, bud.
Oh, also speaking of like other movies and tie-ins and things like that, did the design of the machine remind you of anything? That kind of machine with those 4 rings spinning that would like open up a portal or a wormhole or something like that remind you of anything?
Probably, and I'm just having a brain fart.
Yeah.
What are you?
The movie Event Horizon, their ship.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
It opened up. It's kind of the same design that opened up doorways to another dimension.
Hail to hail.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, the only reason I say this is because they're similar design, and Event Horizon came out like a month after Contact.
Oh, okay. Everybody's like, beware of spinning rings.
The Bill Clinton speeches. They were taken from real life speeches.
Okay.
One, it was in like 1984, a meteorite was found in Antarctica, believed to be from Mars.
Oh.
12 years later, that a NASA scientist wrote an article claiming that it could give proof that there was life at one point on Mars. And it was after that Bill Clinton addressed that. It just so happened that Bill Clinton made that speech.
Okay.
And Robert Zemeckis was like... It's like... was basically, he said he just stood there watching it with his mouth open. He's like, it's like it was written for this movie. So they basically just lifted it. And if there were any parts, like they edited a little bit, and the parts where they did edit was where you just hear Bill Clinton's voice. And so it was a couple of different speeches here and there, kind of, although it did cause a little bit of a controversy or a little bit of a kerfuffle.
Oh, kerfuffle.
Yeah. The White House contacted Warner Brothers and Zemeckis, and basically we're saying that it was inappropriate use of his image and his speeches.
Likeness.
Yeah, they just wanted to remind them that the White House policy prohibits the use of the president in any regards that would directly tie them to a commercial product or service.
Gotcha.
Oh, one other thing that I read, and this will be the last note. What I read was all 3 acts of the movie start off with like a shot of a celestial body that then comes down into Ellie's eye.
Okay.
That is supposed to represent Carl Sagan's opinion that humans are a means for the universe to experience itself. So I'll leave you with that last bit. All right, and that's pretty much it for notes, and everything else we kind of covered in conversation. So you want to give it a rating?
I said up front, I loved this movie. I thought it was brilliantly done. Cast was amazing. Soundtrack, sound design, visuals. I would rate this a 10. The only reason that I'm not is because there were 2 machines. And I find that just a little bit unrealistic. Yes, in a movie about aliens and shenanigans. But I was just
I mean, I get it. It is a very convenient for the movie.
Oh,
but
okay.
Then again, having worked in government, at least from my experience, redundancy was a big thing.
It is, yeah. But trillions of dollars worth of redundancy?
Yeah,
that was my only question.
I get it.
Yeah.
I understand.
But that still being said, 9.8.
I give it a 9.
9. Pippin, what would you rate it? 10 space beans? Wow. Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Okay, well, 9.8, 9, and a 10. Sorry, I'm in here. If y'all have any more fun behind the scenes information, tidbits, factoids, make sure to leave those in the comments. Let us know, what would you rate this movie? If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like the video. And if you haven't subscribed already, baby, go and push that button. Hit it. Do it. You know you want to. You'll make Pippin so happy if you'll subscribe. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hope you all have a great day, and we will see you next time with another First Time. Bye. Oh, you're such a little love glutton. Okay.